I have been talking this entire time, and my microphone was off. Well, that's a shame. Hmm. Well, sorry to viewers. I think we're going to start from the beginning. So, with that being said, what is pen testing? Oh, God help me. Um, yep. Now I see the messages where it says, I can't hear you. Hooray. Uh, Let me make sure I get everything that I can test on. All right. Test. Hello? Now I see this. There we go. All right. What is penetration testing? Before teaching you hands-on aspect, you'll need to understand a penetration tester's job responsibilities are and the processes that are followed in performing penetration tests. Almost got me again. Cybersecurity is relevant to all people in the modern world, including a strong password policy to protect your emails or businesses or other organizations needing to protect both devices and data from damages. The importance and relevancy of cybersecurity are ever increasing and can be in every walk of life. News headlines fill our screens reporting yet another hack or data leak. So, according to Security Magazine, I've never heard of it, a cybersecurity industry magazine, there are over 2,200 cyber attacks every day, one attack every 39 seconds. I think that needs to be updated. So, you can go ahead and move on to ethics. A penetration test is an authorized audit of a computer system's security and defenses as agreed by the owners of the systems. The legality of penetration is pretty clear cut in this sense. Anything that falls outside of this agreement is deemed unauthorized. So as long as you have consent, you can pen test. You can, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Before a penetration test starts, a formal discussion occurs between the penetration tester and the system owner. Various tools, techniques, and systems to be tested are agreed upon. This decision forms the scope of the penetration testing agreement and will determine the course the penetration test takes. Whew. Companies that provide penetration testing services are held against legal frameworks and industry accreditation. For example, the National Cybersecurity Center, NCSC, has a check accreditation scheme in the UK. This check means that only check-approved companies can conduct authorized penetration tests of public sector and CNI systems and networks. Ethics is the moral debate between right and wrong. Where an action may be legal, it may go against the individual's belief system of right and wrong. Penetration testers will often be faced with potentially morally questionable decisions during penetration tests. For example, if they're gaining access to a database and being presented with potentially sensitive data. Or they are perhaps performing a phishing attack on an employee to test the organization's human security. If that action has been agreed upon during the initial stages, it's illegal, however, ethically questionable. Hackers are sorted into three hats, where ethics and motivations behind their actions determine what category they are placed into. So we have white hat, gray hat, and black hat. White hat hackers, usually the good people, the good guys, they remain within the law, use their skills to help others. They're the pen testers, the red teamers, the blue teamers. We have gray hat. These people use their skills to benefit others often. However, they don't respect/follow the law of ethics or ethical standards at all times. So someone taking down a scamming site, uh, a good vigilante. Black hat. These people are criminals and often seek to damage organizations or gain some form of financial benefit at the cost of others. So those are like ransomware groups. Rules of engagement. Make sure to write this one down. This will come up quite a lot. Rules of engagement is a document that is created in the initial stages of penetration testing engagement. This document consists of three main sections explained in the table below, which are ultimately responsible for deciding how the engagement is carried out. The SANS Institute has a great example of this document, which you can view online here. So we have permission, tests, scope, and rules. So permission is getting explicit permission for the engagement to be carried out. Here's a legal note that says, I can do this in case the cops show up. Testing scope, that's all the targets that you're allowed to touch. Mainly, it will be like this section of the network you can touch. This section is off limits. And of course, rules. Rules will be defined during the engagement. For example, certain techniques will be approved or prohibited. Phishing attacks might be prohibited, where man-in-the-middle attacks are okay. So, permissions given to a security audit organization would make you a white hat. You attack an org to steal their data. You're a badass. I mean black hat. What document defines how a penetration testing engagement should be carried out? Rules of engagement. All right, moving on. So, penetration tests can have a wide variety of objectives and targets within scope. Because of this, no penetration test is the same. And there are no one case fits all on how to penetration test should approach it. Steps that a penetration tester takes during an engagement is known as methodology. Practical methodology is a smart one. Where the steps are taken are relevant to the situation at hand. For example, having a methodology that you would use to test the security of a web application is not practical when you have to test the security of a network. So we have different stages. We have information gathering, that's collecting as much information that's publicly available, such, for example, OSINT, which is open source intelligence. It's basically like Googling things about how a company is involved. Does not include any scanning. Next part is scanning and enumeration. So this stage involves discovering applications and services that are running on the system, being able to see what web servers are there, what they might be potentially vulnerable to. Exploitation is using those potential vulnerabilities and leveraging them on a system or an application. This could involve public exploits or exploiting the application logic. Privesk, privilege escalation. So once you've successfully exploited a system or application, known as a foothold, this stage is the attempt to expand your access to a system. You can escalate horizontally or vertically, where horizontally, you would access another account of the same permission group, and vertically is that of another permission group, i.e. manager or administrator. So it's, can I get more access? Can I get someone else's access? Post-exploitation. This stage involves some sub-steps. What other hosts can be targeted? Being able to pivot. What additional information can we gather from the host now that we are a privileged user? And covering your tracks. And last but not least, reporting. So we have the open source security testing methodology manual. Say that 5 times fast. This provides a detailed framework of test strategies for systems, softwares, applications, communications, and the human aspect of cybersecurity. This methodology focuses primarily on how systems, applications communicate. So it includes the methodology for telecommunications, wired networks, wireless communications. So it covers strategies in depth. It includes specific targets. It's flexible depending on the org's needs and is meant to set a standard for systems and applications, meaning that a universal methodology can be used in a penetration testing scenario. Now, for the fun one, OWASP. This is the Open Web Application Security Project. This is what we were working on last week. So this framework is driven and frequently updated framework used solely to test the security of web applications and services. Foundation regularly writes reports stating the top 10 security vulnerabilities of web applications may have, the testing approach, and remediations. So it's easy to pick up, although it's not clear what vulnerability a web app might have. It's actively maintained and updated. OWASP doesn't make suggestions to any specific software development life cycles. It covers all stages of the engagement from testing to reporting to and remediation, but the framework doesn't hold any accreditations such as check. Yeah, but it's probably more useful. It also specializes in web application and services, like we're using right now. So most of the internet. NIST, CyberSecurity Framework 1.1. The NIST Cybersecurity Framework is a popular framework used to improve the organization's cybersecurity standards and manage the risk of cyber threats. This framework has a bit of an honorable mention because of its popularity and detail. Okay, well, it's NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Makes sense. Estimated to be used by 50% of Americans and American organizations by 2020. Has many iterations of the framework, so it's difficult to decide which one applies. It's extremely detailed in setting the standards to help orgs mitigate the threat posed by cyber threats, but it has weak auditing policies, making it difficult to determine how a breach occurred. It's very frequently updated, but it does not consider cloud computing, which is quickly becoming increasingly popular. Yeah, this is probably over 5 years old, or at least this course is. Provides accreditation for organizations that use the framework and is designed to implement alongside other frameworks. So you just use it with other stuff. The Cyber Assessment Framework, CAF, is an extensive framework of 14 principles used to assess risk of various cyber threats and an organization's defenses against these. So data security, system security, identity and access control, resiliency, monitoring, and response and recovery planning. Boy, don't those sound familiar. So this framework is backed by government cybersecurity agencies, but still new in the industry, meaning the org hasn't had much time to make the necessary changes to make it suitable for it. Framework provides accreditation, but the framework is based on principles and ideas and isn't as direct as having rules or some other frameworks. It covers 14 principles, which range from security to response. So what stage of penetration testing involves using publicly available information gathering? If you wanted to use a framework for pen testing telecommunication, which one would you use? That one we talked about first. Don't make me say the name again. The framework focuses on testing web application. My favorite, OWASP. All right. Now, a little more interesting stuff. Black box, gray box, and white box. So black box testing, this process is high-level process where the tester is not giving any information about the inner workings of the application or service. The tester acts as a regular user testing the functionality and interaction of the application or piece of software. The testing can involve interacting with an interface, buttons, and testing to see whether the intended result is returned. No knowledge of programming or understanding the program is necessary for this type of test, but it helps. So being able to know, like, how can I abuse this button to get other results? Gray box testing. So this testing process is the most popular for things such as penetration testing. It's a combination of both black box and white box testing processes. The tester will have some limited knowledge of the internal components of the application or piece of software. Still, it will be interacting with the application as if it were a black box scenario, and then use their knowledge of the application to try and resolve issues as they find them. Gray box testing, a limited knowledge is given, this saves time, and is often chosen for extremely well-hardened attack surfaces. And we have white box testing. This testing process is low level, usually done by the software developer who knows programming and application logic. The tester will be testing the internal components of the application or piece of software and, for example, ensuring that specific functions work correctly and within the reasonable amount of time. The tester will have full knowledge of the application and its expected behavior, and much more time consuming than black box testing. The full knowledge in a white box testing scenario provides a testing approach that guarantees an entire attack surface can be validated. And we'll see. You're testing an application, but aren't given access to the source code, black box. You are given access to the source code, white box. Now, back to Hero. Acme has approached you for an assignment. You want to carry out the stages of a penetration test on the infrastructure. View the site by clicking the green button and follow the guided instructions to complete the exercise. Let's see what we got. All right. Let's go through the stages of penetration testing assignment for the Acme company. This stage of penetration test is where you define 3 primary objectives. Cycle through the tabs below to explore these. For penetration tests, to be ethical and logical, both parties, the company wanting to test their application for vulnerabilities and the company conducting the pen test. We'll sign a document given the clear permissions. All right, test scope. All right, and rules. All right, we covered those. So, Fred blogs. We have permission to perform the penetration test, and we've put you on for this one. Client has sent a statement of the work and scope document, which is attached to this email. Please use this to begin the engagement. Oh, thanks, Ben. All right. So, we're going to start with information gathering. We're going to find out more about Abby Fleetwood, the HR administrator of the Acme company. Using their LinkedIn profile, we're able to find their email. Let's just copy that for now. Enumeration and scanning. The goal of this stage is to get a complete picture of your target. A penetration tester will try to identify user accounts, machines on the network shares, applications, information gathered from stage 2, and they engage within the engagement scope of the engagement scope document. All right, the enumeration phase is very important as your findings are used to exploit the target systems. Let's pretend Abby from stage 2 made a post on LinkedIn sharing a blog post she wrote about Acme. From this post, you're able to find Acme's web server's IP. Try scanning it. So we have 96.37.50.151. I really wish TryHackMe had more of a structure for some of these. I feel like we passed this complexity. Starting a vulnerability scan as a vulnerable web service, but no vulnerable login service. All right, let's move on to the next part. So we'll use Metasploit to start the exploitation and gain access. using a reverse TCP handler, running a background job, starting a payload, and then we have access. Cool. Post-exploitation stage starts when you've gained unauthorized access to a system. At this stage of the engagement, your main goal will be to maintain access to the system and escalate your privileges within the system to a super user or administrative user. Systems are usually set up with normal users that don't have access to various sensitive files and functions. Gaining access to higher privileged users, such as administrators, will allow you to perform actions that you wouldn't be able to as a normal user. After doing this, you'll be extracting sensitive information from the system and attacking other components in the environment. All right, and then we just clean up and report. This is at the end, so you make sure that you use your logging and reporting to properly fix anything that you broke, or at least reverse anything you've left. As a penetration tester, you will have to explain the results of your engagement to the client. This is usually done in the form of a report that contains details regarding any security issues you found and how to mitigate them. The client will use this report to understand the security issues and fix the flaws in the technology stack that was tested. Let's go ahead and paste that, and we're done. Man, that was a lot. Learn the principles of information security. You can take a look. No, we don't have premium. Thanks for the spam. Let's go look at our dashboard. What's in the box? Just kidding, I don't have money. This keeps popping. I feel like we should just do it. We'll do a speed run maybe. So then we can get into some web hacking. Ooh, Metasploit. That would be a fun one. Let's see, it's been 46 minutes. Make sure the stream's still somewhat up. Let's switch gears and do some coding challenges. We haven't done that in a few days. So, let me switch our Chrome tab to our Code Wars window. Not that small. A little bigger. Good enough. And that's it. Play some music in the background for everybody. And let's go ahead and jump right in. So, what if I can fix? Nah, this stream should be fine. All right, detective. One of our colleagues successfully observed our target person, Robbie the Robber. We followed him to a secret warehouse where we assume to find all the stolen stuff. The door to this warehouse is secured by an electronic combination lock. Unfortunately, our spy isn't sure about the pin he saw when Robbie entered it. So the keypad has the following layout. just like a cell phone. He noted the pin 1357, but he also said it is possible that each of the digits he saw could actually be another adjacent digit, horizontally or vertically, but not diagonally. Example, instead of 1, it could be 2 or 4. Instead of 5, it could be 2, 4, 6, or 8. This detective sucks. He also mentioned he knows this kind of locks. You can enter an unlimited amount of wrong pins. They will never finally lock the system or sound the alarm. That's why we can try out all possible variations. Possible in the sense of the observed pin itself, and all variations considering the adjacent digits. Can you help us find all the variations? It would be nice to have a function that would return an array or a list in whatever of all the variations for an observed pin with the length of 1 to 8 digits. We can name the function getPins in Python, but please note that all pins, the observed one, and also the results must be a string because of potentially leading zeros. We already prepared some test cases for you. All right. This is your job, detective. We have to solve this. Hopefully we have enough time before the bad guy gets away. When we want a warrant... Oh. So let's see our test cases. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so it's saying if we're given 8, we need to return 5, 7, 8, 9, and 0. So we need to return all the neighboring. If anyone's familiar with, what's it called? Conway's Way of Life, Game of Life, it's probably what we have to do here. Just want to see if I can make a test array. So I think it's looking for something similar to this. I mean, we could just do this manually and say if it's... It's 1, then we want to return 2 and 4. If it's 2, we want to return 1, 3, and 5. And it looks like it wants it in increasing order except for 0. 3, we get 2 and 6. 4, 1, 5, and 7. 2, 4, 6, 8. Is there a math equation maybe we can do? Probably not. 3, 5, 9. It might help us if we write it all out, and then maybe we can start picking up on patterns. 7 would be 4 and 8. 8, you want to turn 5, 7, 8, 9, and 0. Oh, I forgot to add the number itself. Well, let's actually remove that for now. I just want to see how this looks first, as I'm thinking we might be able to pick up on some pattern here. So 9 would be 6 or 8. And finally 0 would be, it would just be 8. 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 2, 6, 1, 5, 7. That is 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 5, 9. All right, I'm not seeing any pattern. So we need to do this for each number and then just make a giant array. So it would be like 4 items in this array, do that array. Make sense? It's like for X in observe. If X equals 1, then we add that. Yeah. I should have tried to save all that before just going for it. Oh well. We're gonna have answer equal one empty array. Nope, I didn't mean to run it. Probably should have started off with just strings anyways. But it will be fine. This I can just go back and forth on the keyboard. Someone checking my math to make sure I'm adding all the possible numbers. No, it looks like we're gonna have to do all combinations of combinations. Because here we have 3, 6, and 9. The test 3, 3, 9, 3, 6, 6, 3, 9, 9, 6, 5, 8. Oh, jeez. All right. Oh, you want 0 at the beginning? And 8. Happy? No. Oh, okay. No, they're still okay. I think what we can do is make a thing called pin, which is just another array. for y in answer. So that's each array, z in y. Pin that pinned z. And return pin. What do you mean invalid syntax? Interesting username? I don't know if I want to say that name. But thank you for the follow, ringer. Welcome to the stream if you're watching. Invalid syntax. Try range of the length of our array +1. And then we would do answer y. What do you want of it? Print our answer, and we'll go ahead and print y and see what we actually get. All right, I guess it just didn't like Z for some reason. So we can go ahead and append our pin. How are we getting 0 twice? what we're saying is 8. Oh, because I accidentally included it at the end. I forgot to remove it. That's all. So that should solve 1. Pin 11. Pin 1 1. 1 2 2 2 4 4 should equal 1 1, then 2 1 4 2 1. So we gotta. This is why I was like, for the length of our pin, if we know like how long. So for the length of our observed, and build our pin. It's a range. Pin dot end our build pin. One 2 4 1 2 4 should equal 1 1 2. Shoot. They're close. That I know. But we're just iterating incorrectly. Let me just make sure. Hmm. maybe we just, I don't know if we can do this. Because we want to be able to do it in just one function. We have pins, which starts as an empty thing. We can have a new pins equal to an empty array. Or X in the amount of pins that we have. And for each digit in Y, new pins that append is our X plus our digit. So then we're not double counting. And then in this for loop, we can say pins equals new pins. Can we return the pins? I expected indent. Oh. We got rid of that, right? And it. There we go. I don't need to print our answer anymore. So for Y in answer, which is each possible one, we create new pins. And then for X in pins, so we start with 0, which will be the first one. Then we do for the digit in Y, which is each array in the initial, we add our previous digit with the new digits to create a new pin. So we can start building up these bigger pin combos. So go ahead and attempt it. Beauty. I love when it just works. Let's go ahead and submit. All right. Rank up. Where are we at? About hour 20. I don't know what you guys think. think since I'm having some issues with the drop frames, we'll just do one more coding challenge. Oh, we're at 13. I think we can do this one. Rot 13 is a simple letter substitution cipher that replaces a letter with the letter 13 letters after it in the alphabet. Rot 13 is an example of the Caesar cipher. That was one of our first strings. So create a function that takes a string and returns the string ciphered with Rot 13. If there are numbers or special characters included in the string, they should be returned as they are. Only letters from the Latin English alphabet should be shifted, like the original Rot 13 implementation. Please note that using encode is considered cheating. All right. So I think we start with letters equals message.split. Letters. X in letters. Print X. Can we just do X in message? All right. If X symbols. If we make a symbols value, make it space, make it nothing, make it star, initial mark. Do I just have to run through all these? Probably. There are a lot of symbols. Python is X a character. Oh. Is alpha. Is sigma? That's a lot of case. So that's going to check if it's upper or lowercase. Then we just got to make sure we return the rotation in that upper or lowercase. So previously we did what was that? Just a dictionary of A through Z. ASCII value table. I'm just going to see if maybe we can use an ASCII table to just do the math to rotate. Hopefully. So I think how to memorize the ASCII table? Jeez. Okay. So if we have A, which is 65, 13. I think that will work. In fact, then we wouldn't have to tell if it's uppercase or lowercase, because we just gotta get the value. The ASCII value of the character, ord. Function ord gets the int value of the character. In case you want to convert it back, playing with the number, function char does the trick. Oh, CHR, not char, chur. Chur. So all we gotta do is check if it is alpha. And then if it is, then we can just do, was it ord or ord? Ord. I don't know what that means, but we do answer equals quote. Answer plus equals this will be that of ord plus 13. Else, we just want to do answer plus equals x. Turn answer. Huh. Did it lie to us? Note that ord doesn't give you the ASCII value per se, it gives you the numeric value of the character in whatever encoding it is in. What went wrong here? Okay. Didn't this guy even have an example of like +3? So why can't I do +13? Because then we start getting this weird stuff. Oh, except for this one. Oh, because it has to loop around. So if how do I loop around? No, how do I do this? This would be lost. Because our ASCII table has 2. If it's 90, but 65 to 90. Let's write that down. $65 to 90, or $97 to $122. That is greater than, let's see, like we're getting 81 and 80 next. What do I need to string X? That's greater than 90 and less than plus feel like we should have just done the manual way. That one was at least working. Wait, 81? What would that be? It should be Q. In fact, isn't that the, test should turn into GRFG. So test would be 116 plus 13 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. And then we're past that. It's got a note, maybe. So. T equals let's just get rid of that for now. Print the board of X. So now we know what the values are. T equals 1.6. E 101. And that's 2. 115. Okay. I want this to equal GRFG. So G is 103. R is 114. Polar. I'm going to set this was 103. Oh, 103. And F is equal to 102. Plus 13 equals 1.9. Minus 97, I guess. And then we'll... Wait, is it minus 122? What are we trying to get to? We're trying to get to 103. Tell me it's 26. It's 26. Okay. That's cool. No, that's cool. That's all right. So the halfway point for this number is 97 plus 13. 110. And then the halfway point for this one would be 6 about 78. So if it's over 110, subtract 13. If it's over 78, but less than 97, subtract 13. If over 110, subtract 13. Oh, 78, but less than 97. Or is it the difference of where it is to the end? This one, 14, that's fine. So if we say subtract 13, that means we'll get 102, which is correct. Okay. Minus 13. 103. But is that proper? It's probably not proper. That it will work, maybe. If the or d of x is greater than we'll just start with 110. Answer plus equals the chur of the ordered number of x minus 13 or order x less than 97. And order x is greater than 78. Can I put these in parentheses? Plus 13. Now, I know that's messy, but it works. As long as it works. Let's go ahead and attempt. And so plus. It's performed twice. Return the incorrect for fixed string. C. I'm missing A, which would lowercase a, by the way. 97. And All right, we know we're sorry, accidentally put in a squiggly, which is this one. 122. Oh, did I forget that part? Wait, 122 minus 13, that would equal 10. Minus 7? Mm-mm. No, what? I think I meant to put 90. That's good. Okay. But we were passing when we did that. Less than or equal to? No. Greater than or equal to? I bet you it's that one. Shoot. I got the closest with this one, right? 29 to 46. Alright, it's the same. No, wait. 38 to 37. This one's closer then. Pick string. Do I return to original? Do I return to original? Should equal do I return to original. So again, so it's the brackets here. Which 91. If is that N and A? Original. Yeah, why is N giving us headaches now? NA, answer not found. N is 78. And A is probably 65, eh? Yeah. So we're saying we have 78. if it's less than 78, or if it's greater than 78, or if it's less than 97, greater than 78 and less than 97, do I have to say and less than? Pattern 13 rotation. Should put it right back to where it was, right? Something with the A's too, I'm not getting. It's 65 plus 13. Or are we subtracting 13 by accident? Calculator. 91 minus 13 is 78. $52. So else if order of X equals 78, or order X equals 110. If it's in the middle, that means it's just return itself. I think that's what we're getting at. All right. Let's go ahead and attempt it. Okay. NOPQRSTUVWXYZN. NOPQRSTUVWXZA. So now lowercase a is accidentally returning n. So lowercase a, na 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 na. Lowercase a would be 97, and n would be 110. Cool. So ABC, LM, NOPQRS2, UWX, Y, and Z. and then starts with AB, blah, 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 blah. But how do we go from lowercase a to n? Because plus 13 to that equals 123. 122 is our curly bracket. But we said if it's over 110 to remove it. So 110 minus 13 should be 97. Oh, but we're saying if it equals. Do we need this? Like, is the only rule going to apply for 78? See, we added. So this does need to say and order x less than less than so, hold on. Is that equal to? And we're back down to this. Original NAL. Should obtain route 13 encoding on 10 randomly generated blanks. That's just because it's a bunch of ends. Characters. To the current solution. So we go from capital A to N. So 65. Plus 13 equals A. Is it greater than or equals? There we go. There we go. We're just missing that one equal sign. It's always something simple. All right, I think we can go ahead and submit. Probably should clean up the code a little bit, but let's see how other people are solving it. Import string from codex, import encode. He said at the beginning, encoding's cheating. Anyways. Wow. Someone just rotated the entire alphabet. Pretty cool. Message translate, message translate, message dot make translate. Okay, so they kind of did it, but they did it in one line. This is the weird math I was trying to do. No, I'm always a fan of the paragraph format of code, I guess. All right. I think, yeah, this is similar to what we were going to do. Is it uppercase or is it lowercase? And then they did math there. Everyone's so creative. All right, gang. I think with that one, we're going to call it there. If you stayed around, I appreciate it. I got to stop pressing these hotkeys to make my eyes look weird. But yeah, thanks for joining the stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. Follow me on Twitter if you want constant updates or dumb memes. All right, bye.